Welcome to Week 8 of high school football. Adams Cable Channel 7 presents a Lackawanna Football Conference Division III showdown as the Carbondale area Chargers put their undefeated record on the line against the Old Forge Blue Devils. Sponsored by Adams Cable Service, Lawrence A. Gabriel Funeral Homes with locations at 74 North Main Street and 2 Hospital Street, Carbondale. Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Carbondale. Biglamini Drugstore, Carbondale, locally owned and trusted since 1929. Tom's Floor Shop, Main Street, Childs. By Nick's Excavating and Construction, Carbondale. McGovern Insurance Agency, Carbondale. Main Street, Sunoco, Carbondale. Beston's Body Shop and Collision Center, Carbondale. The White's Crossing Sports Shop. Fire Napa Auto Parts Store, Tonkin Auto Supply, Carbondale. The starting lineups for today's game are brought to you by Roselle Department Store in Carbondale. It's time for the big plays and hard-hitting action of high school football between Old Forge and Carbondale area. With the pregame show and the call of today's game, here's Nick Homick, Glenn Muskowski, and Steve Young. Guys.
Welcome to Week 8 of Adams Cable Channel 7 High School Football, and today it is the showdown in the Pioneer City as the Carbondale area Chargers will put their undefeated record on the line against the Blue Devils of Old Forge. Alongside Glenn Muskowski and Nick Homick, I'm Steve Young. Glad you're with us here tonight in Carbondale, and this is a big one. It is a Lackawanna Football Conference Division III battle. Carbondale 7 wins, no losses. Old Forge 6-1. Glenn, it doesn't get any better than this.
Well, this is what you play for all season long, Steve, without a doubt. It's a great facility here in Carbondale. It's going to be packed here tonight, and the weather's perfect right now.
So for the Old Forge Blue Devils, they come in and, Nick, they have been really bulldozing teams this season.
Well, they are big and physical, and they really, they play a good style of football. They're a proud tradition down there at Old Forge. Really, they have a great team, great following, no matter what their record is.
So the stage is set for today's ball game here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale. Old Forge and Carbondale area coming up here on Adams Cable Channel 7.
We're here with the Old Forge head coach, Mike Schubeck. Coach, 7-0 for Carbondale, 6-1 for your team. Very easily for a play or two, 7-0 for you also. It's a great game. It looks like it's going to be an exciting, much anticipated game. Could you give me a few comments about tonight's game?
Well, obviously, Carbondale's really established himself this year. They played us tough a couple years ago down our place, and last year wasn't an easy game for us either, in some sloppy conditions. The field looks great for this late in the year up here, but we're expecting a great game.
Okay, and what must you do as Old Forge, as your team, to be successful tonight?
Well, we can't give up the chunk plays. We talk about that every week in our meetings on Monday and on the weekend when we do films. They've got a ton of big plays 2 weeks ago against Trail, big plays, 80-yard plays, 45-yard plays. We got to limit those big plays, make them go the length of the field, down after down, make their drives be 10 or more plays, and see if they could do that. And, right now, for us, we can't turn the ball over. We've been pretty good with that this year. We turned the ball over in Dunmore, we lost. So it just goes to show you got to keep the ball in your hands when it's yours and not turn the ball over and not give up big plays.
Well, basically, pretty much fundamental football and play hard.
Yeah, do your job. We say that
Absolutely. A lot. All right, Coach, it's going to be a good one, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
We're here with the head coach of Carbondale area, Larry Gabriel III. Coach, 7-0, Old Forge 6-1. The game is by far one of the most important games in recent year in Carbondale area football. How have your coaching staff and you handled the hype that goes along with a game such as this?
I'm very impressed with the way our kids have handled the hype. We've been treating it as just another football game. Honestly, our practices didn't top an hour and a half this week. We were in helmets and shoulder pads twice. And we've just been following the same routine. We weren't going to treat this as any different of a game.
Well, absolutely, and I don't think you really can. You just got to go in one game at a time and see what happens. Now, for you to be successful tonight, what do you have to do?
I think it's impossible to stop them offensively. We think we're going to try to contain them. If they're going to earn points on us, our goal right now is to put them into 10-play drives. If they do score on us, We want them to chew some clock up, have it be 10, 12-play drives. Offensively, we know we have to be able to sustain things. Lately, in a few games, we've had a ton of success on the perimeter, sometimes in trick plays. We know that if we're relying on trickeration tonight, we're going to be in big trouble.
Well, yeah, you have to go basically with your fundamental football and just smash mouth and do your best. And I think it's going to be a great game, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Everyone is looking for ways to save money today. The Total Home Packages from Adams Cable Service are a great way to do just that. Starting at $69.99 per month, you can get cable, high-speed internet, and unlimited phone service. You're probably paying that much just for one service right now. Call Adams Cable Service today and ask about the Total Home Packages. Cable, internet, and phone starting at only $69.99 per month. Adams Cable Service has a package to meet your needs, and it's the smartest way to save money. Call Adams today.
Please note that the restrooms are located behind the concession stand.
Lawrence A. Gabriel Funeral Homes, conveniently located at 74 North Main Street and 2 Hospital Street, Carbondale, offer all types of funeral services. In your time of need, call 282-1219 for the ultimate in professional services. Lawrence A. Gabriel and Lawrence A. Gabriel Jr. take this opportunity to send best wishes to our area athletes and teams.
Number 22, a senior linebacker.
Keep your vehicle running safe and efficiently with complete automotive care by Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Brooklyn Street, Carbondale. You can rely on Jerry's for minor repairs, wheel alignment, Pennsylvania safety inspection and emissions testing, brake service, oil changes, computer diagnostics, and brand name tires for a smooth ride. Stop in and see Jerry. Call 282-TIRE or visit their website, jerrystire@gmail.com. Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Brooklyn Street, Carbondale. Back at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale, just about set for the starting lineups here on this Friday night for Lackawanna Football Conference Division III action and the showdown between the Blue Devils and the Carbondale area Chargers, as the co-captains are at the center of the football field for the coin toss. And we will have the playing of our national anthem in just a moment. And Glenn, the stage is set here in the Pioneer City. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Absolutely, Steve. And the crowd is starting to filter in. It's a nice crowd again, and you wouldn't expect nothing different. So here's the results of the coin toss. All Forge will receive. Okay, and obviously Carbondale will get the ball in the second half.
So hang on, everybody. Here it comes, the big one in the Pioneer City, as fans continue to make their way into the stadium. Parking is going to be at a premium. There's no doubt about it. And now your starting lineups for today's game, brought to you by the legendary Main Street landmark in Carbondale, the Roselle Department Store, where the new line of fall and winter clothing is on display. School is back in session, and Roselle will meet the area school dress codes with an extensive supply of uniforms for Lakeland, Carbondale area, LaSalle Academy, Holy Cross, Forest City, and Valley View. Planning a fall wedding? Roselle Department Store has everything you need for your big day, with the hottest fashion ideas in formal wear by Sarno & Son, and a perfect fit every time. Roselle now offers fast, reliable laundry and dry cleaning services. You can depend on Roselle Department Store for unsurpassed quality, style, and value. Sam and the staff at Roselle Department Store in Carbondale are proud to present your starting lineups for today's game between the Blue Devils and the Chargers.
Really? I swear to God.
Here at the Andrew J. Sarah Sports Complex in Carbondale, it's time to rock and roll with Old Forge and Carbondale area. Your starting lineup for the Blue Devils of Old Forge: at tight end, it's Shane Schuback, a senior at 6'1", 225. At split end, Steve Mascaro, a 5'10", 170-pound senior. Joe Bruno at left tackle, 6'3", 250, and a senior. At right tackle, Ryan Polish, a senior at 6'4", and 290. At left guard, Corey Soyavong, he is 5'11", 210 pounds, and a junior. Paul Pappy is at right guard, 6', 228, and a senior. Troy Benson will be at center. He is a senior, 6 foot and 210 pounds. Jake Minetti will quarterback the Blue Devil offense. He is 6 foot, 185 pounds, and a senior. Jordan Seacole at fullback. He is 6 foot 210 pound senior. And the guy Carbondale has to be concerned about is Brandon Yaskavage, a 6 foot 190 pound senior. Joey Gutowski will get the start at flanker for the Blue Devils. He's a sophomore, 6'1", and 165 pounds. As we continue along with the Roselle Department Store starting lineups for the Chargers of Carbondale area: at defensive end, Isaiah McCord. Tim Mantis at right end. Matt Stinnard at left tackle. Chris Larson at right tackle. Kevin Orms at nose guard. Brian Lavolpe at linebacker, along with Tyler Peregrine. Bradley Sales at left corner. Ricky Jones at the right corner. Chippy Calabro at strong safety. And Jason Martin at free safety. So the stage is set for today's ball game. The Chargers and the Blue Devils here on Channel 7.
All right, Steve. I think, 9 out of 10 times you would see a team defer and take it the second half. I think Old Forge wants to try to make an early statement with taking the ball. And the way they've been playing in the first half, God only knows what could happen. And here we go.
Here's the kickoff by Martin, and the end over end kick will be caught at the 15-yard line by the Old Forge Blue Devils. They take it out across the 32-yard line. And that was Brandon Vahey on the kick return for Old Forge. And the Blue Devils will start this possession from, let's check the spot of the football, from their own 33-yard line, first down and 10. So, Nick, here we go with Old Forge and Carbondale area. It's going to be a real battle.
Yeah, and like the coach said, Carbondale cannot afford to give up the big plays right away. Make them drive the field, make them work for it. That's what Old Forge did the past couple of weeks. Yaskavage had 190 yards on 5 carries.
Minetti off the play fake, wants to throw, looking long. He's got a man open. It is
That's
caught.
intercepted.
Let's check it. Is it picked off?
I think they're going to call that interception.
I believe Carbondale. Let's check it. No. Old Forge will have it. That was Joey Gutowski, and he moved into the flanker position. He was supposed to be the backup quarterback, and that was a late change by head coach Mike Schuback. And right from the get-go, Old Forge, instead of running the football, they throw the first haymaker of the ball game, and they are in Carbondale territory, first down and 10 at the Charger 30. As Minetti now will look to hand it off, and Jordan Seacole is stacked up by the Carbondale defense. 4 Chargers racked him up, and it was a true defensive team effort by Carbondale.
Well, Steve, that ball was about a fingertip away from being intercepted, because it looked like Ricky Jones had the inside position, but it just went over his fingertips, and it was for 35-yard play.
It was well defended and uncharacteristic of Old Forge to come out and throw the ball, but hey, that loosened up the defense right away.
Second down and 12, Old Forge from the Carbondale 32 with a minute and a half gone by here in quarter number 1. We are scoreless. Minetti under center, gives it to the tailback, and there goes Yaskavage with a lot of room. Yaskavage will take it all the way for a 32-yard touchdown, and the Blue Devils in 3 plays down the field hit pay dirt, and they take an early 6-0 lead.
Wow. A good cutback by Yaskavage, and he was gone.
32-yard carry.
Well, this is what everyone was concerned about. This game is going to be determined on the line of scrimmage. Old Forge is huge across the line. You're looking at 250, 210, 228, 290 at the right tackle, Ryan Polish. And that time, they just blew Carbondale off the line of scrimmage. And now the try for the extra point. And the Blue Devils have a 6-0 lead as the kick is no good. So we have a break in the action here in Carbondale. Blue Devils lead it 6-0 here on Adams Cable High School Football. Here's great news from Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale that can save you money and make shopping for your prescriptions more convenient. Figlamini now has an $8.95 generic drug plan and free local delivery. Figlamini offers diabetic shoes, lift chairs, and home health supplies. That's what sets Figlamini apart from the chains. Locally owned and trusted since 1929. Stop in and see the difference for yourself at Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale, where you're not just a number, you're family. Welcome back to the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex here in Carbondale. The Blue Devils strike quickly. They take a 6-0 lead over the Carbondale area Chargers as Yaskavage just broke away from scrimmage and took off on the touchdown run. Christian Mozaleski, who had 24 extra points on the season, and he leads Division III in kicking, missed the extra point. And now the Blue Devils will tee it up and kick off to Carbondale. Ricky Jones is back deep, along with Jason Jablanowski for Carbondale area. And for the Blue Devils of Old Forge, they will be teeing up the football, and Shane Schuback will do the honors for the Blue Devils.
That certainly isn't how Carbondale wanted to start this game. No question about it, Steve. But again, you've got to be ready to play when you play Old Forge.
Now, will they kick it to Jablanowski, or are they going to go with a squib kick? They're going to go and kick it to Jablanowski at the 5-yard line, and he will keep the football. Looked like he was going to hand it off, and he takes it out near the 19-yard line. That's where Carbondale area will bring its offense onto the football field. First down and 10, trailing 6-0 with 10 minutes and 37 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Now Carbondale has to respond to what Old Forge did, and they have to respond in very quickly.
Well, Nick, Old Forge throws the first haymaker. We'll see if Carbondale can get up off the canvas and respond right here.
Well, they need to put together a good drive and keep that field position change, because they are kind of pinned in their own territory here.
From the 20-yard line, Carbondale area going to work. They will hand it off to the last man through, and that is Ricky Jones, who takes it around the right side and advances the football to the 25-yard line for a 5-yard gain on the play. Ricky Jones is fourth in Division III in rushing with 71 attempts, 547 yards, 10 touchdowns. He averages about 7.5 yards per carry for the Chargers.
To combat, Old Forge's size difference, you got to keep them off balance with a little mix of pass and run, some traps, things like that.
On the second down play, Jankowski will hand it off to Ricky Jones, and there goes Jones breaking tackles, and Jones is decked at the 46-yard line, but not before he picked up about 20 yards on the play.
And that was all Ricky Jones right there. He got through the first wave, and he just made a move, made another guy miss. Got in the secondary. He's got to learn to lower the shoulder a little bit, though. He's not exactly a big bruiser. But this is what you talked about. You're already changed field position here because you're approaching midfield.
Carbondale area with a first down and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Out of the huddle they come. Martin will be a wide out on the near side. Jankowski under center. Jankowski almost had someone move, and there's whistles. This play will be halted by a flag, and the officials will talk things over near the line of scrimmage. And that's on the Chargers.
In big games like this, like little mistakes, like illegal motions and things like that, are things you cannot afford to have. But here's the other thing too. You heard Coach Gabriel talk about it in the opening, about how you just hope to contain Old Forge. Well, one way to contain them is keep their offense off the field by your offense, picking up first downs.
And I think with the size they have inside, they're going to have to run outside a little bit.
And there goes Ricky Jones right up the gut. And Ricky Jones is out to the midfield stripe for Carbondale area.
That misdirection fake, things like that, those counters and things like that, that's how you slow down the blitzing linebackers. Because
they were coming.
That's right. One of these times, you hand that ball off to that guy swinging around there, and that linebacker's on a blitz, he runs right past the ball.
8:59 to play first quarter. Blue Devils 6, Chargers nothing. 2nd and 7, Carbondale from its own 50-yard line. Jankowski will set them down. Jankowski gives it to Ricky Jones, and this time he's buried at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. Old Forge defensively across the line averages about 245 pounds. They are stingy defensively, giving up about 10.6 points per game and 199 yards. That is second in the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III behind the Chargers.
I was talking to Joby Fawcett before the game, and he's seen Old Forge a couple of times, and he said they are nasty up front, and they play great team defense. They swarm to the ball, and obviously you see that there.
Chargers now facing 3rd down and 6 from the Blue Devil 49-yard line. Martin comes wide to the near side. Jankowski under center. Blue Devils creeping up on the line of scrimmage off the play fake. Jankowski will fire it downfield. Martin goes for it, broken up in the secondary by the Blue Devil defense. And it's 4th down for Carbondale area, and we will probably see the punting unit come in for the Chargers.
Well, Martin had to play defensive back there because that ball was just thrown up for grabs, and you cannot afford to get an interception at that point.
No, that wasn't a very good pass. Maybe threw that into too much coverage.
Yeah, he's got to set. You know, he had time. He's got to set. Now right here, Carbondale's the punt team has to cover.
Jason Martin in punt formation from inside his own 40. High snap. He'll get this away. He'll angle it to the near sideline. And Joey Gutowski is going to pick it up, and he's going to try to advance it. And he's got some green, and now he's in trouble and dropped at the 15-yard line.
Should have called a clip right here on the sideline. 2 guys broke down for Carbondale there, and the guy blocked him right in the back.
No flag on the play.
You won't get that call, though.
Well, you should if it's there.
Well, I question where somebody's officials are.
Easy. Here we go.
Oh,
Here
boy.
we go.
The fuse is lit. Here we go.
To win the game.
6-0 Blue Devils. 7:43 to play first quarter. Big full moon over the right end zone here in the Pioneer City. Big crowd on hand for this ball game also between the Blue Devils and the Chargers, as Old Forge will break the huddle. And up to the line of scrimmage they come as Jake Minetti, the senior quarterback, leads Division III in passing, will set them down. Minetti handing off, and Yaskavage is dropped on the play. Kevin Orms coming out of nowhere. He's 5'11", 170, and a senior, the nose guard for Carbondale, making the stop.
Now, Orms has made 2 plays like that already on the defensive end. Now, on the touchdown run from Yaskavage, he got blocked off the line of scrimmage and tried to spin move, and that opened up a lane for Yaskavage in that touchdown run. He cannot, he's just got to try and plug up the middle there.
Yeah, that is his job as a nose guard.
He's got to try and take on as many men as he can.
2nd down and 15 for the Blue Devils of Old Forge. From their own 10-yard line, Minetti will take a look at the Carbondale defense. He will hand it off to Yaskavage, and Yaskavage goes off the right side and advances the football up to the 20-yard line.
On the stop for the charge.
Brian Lavolpe, the senior linebacker, making the tackle for Carbondale area.
Believe it or not, this is already a big play in this game. If they could hold him to make him punt the ball here, they may get some decent field position.
35-04.
Well, I'll take a gander and see who's going to get the ball here.
Yeah.
I think his number's 42.
Well, he has really been chewing up a lot of opposing defenses in the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III. 3rd down and 5, the Blue Devils. And this is Yaskavage, and he will turn it upfield, and I think he's got the first down. Coming to the near side of the field, just looks like he got enough for the first down.
But they had the edge set there. That could have been a lot bigger play, but Lavolpe came out and made the play.
So the Blue Devils will sustain the drive with the first down with just about 6 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. 6-0 if you're just tuning in here on the radio broadcast of Adams Cable. Got a text from Mike Mancuso of Figlamini Drugstore wishing us well on the broadcast tonight. Thanks, Mike. Glad to have you tuned in here to Channel 7. On 1st down and 10, it is the handoff to the tailback, and Yaskavage breaking tackles, and Yaskavage takes it out across midfield into Carbondale territory at the Charger 49-yard line. This guy is dangerous. 6'2", 190, and a senior running behind this big offensive line, and when he takes off, he is tough to bring down.
He is a powerful runner. All he needs is a step or two, and he's at full tilt.
And right now, the Blue Devils will go with the running attack. And
Fumble.
Loose ball.
Cardinals got the ball.
Carbondale area has the football.
And Scavenge never had a chance. Lavolpe came on a blitz. He disrupted that the second. The quarterback turned around to give him the ball. But that's what you need.
So
there's the break.
There's the break. Now do something with it.
First turnover of the ball game, and Carbondale area will bring its offense onto the football field at the 50, trailing 6-0.
Give you a little Lou Holtz here. They put their pants on the same way as they do. Carbondale does. They don't have a big S across their chest. They are human. And Old Forge, let's see how they respond here after a mistake.
First down and 10 from midfield for Carbondale area. And this is Ricky Jones, and he's belted. He was popped on the play. Might have just got back to the line of scrimmage. Ricky Jones, fourth in Division III in rushing.
You know, a number of times Carbondale on the defensive end has gotten good penetration on the defensive end with their backers and their nose guard. So it can be done. They just have to alleviate those big plays.
Yeah, you know, and like I said before, Yaskavich, he's at full tilt with two running steps.
Two steps. He's downhill.
Jablinowski and Martin are wideouts on the near side for Carbondale area on 2nd and 10 from midfield. Jankowski off the play fake with time, looking, firing underneath the coverage, and it's almost intercepted. Ball was almost picked off. It was intended for Martin, and he was in triple coverage.
Triple? I think there's about 7 guys out there.
Wow.
I don't know if that was a one-man pattern or he was the only one going deep, but
dangerous pass.
That was
watch
dangerous.
Those throws. You don't get many opportunities to get them back.
Well, while I have the opportunity, guys, I have to say hello to Sally, who's listening in tonight. I work with her during the week, and she's listening into the ball game. At least I hope she is. She said, look, I'm going to turn the game on. I hope I don't fall asleep. I have a tendency to do that every night when I get in my lazy boy. So
I was going to say, as long as she doesn't say that every time she listens to us.
Well, hey, we have to be good at something, right?
Sally, stay awake, will you please?
Sally, this is your wake-up call. 3rd down and 10 from midfield for Carbondale area. And now the officials are going to
timeout.
We're going to have a timeout called by the Chargers with 4:27 left to play, first quarter, and the Blue Devils leading 6-0 here on Adams Cable High School Football. Here's great news from Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale that can save you money and make shopping for your prescriptions more convenient. Figlamini now has an $8.95 generic drug plan and free local delivery. Figlamini offers diabetic shoes, lift chairs, and home health supplies. That's what sets Figlamini apart from the chains. Locally owned and trusted since 1929. Stop in and see the difference for yourself at Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale, where you're not just a number, you're family.
More than anything else, beautiful carpeting installed by Tom's Floor Shop in Childs will make your house a home. Pay a visit to Tom's Floor Shop and experience the feel of deep, rich luxury, the drama of radiant color, and the timeless beauty, the comfort, and durability of carpeting from Tom's Floor Shop in Childs. Tom's Floor Shop offers a large selection of linoleum, ceramic tile, exotic hardwood floors, and window treatments with attractive patterns and a truly amazing array of colors on display in their showroom. At Tom's Floor Shop, there is no sacrifice of style, quality, or performance. All roads lead to where great floors begin. Tom's Floor Shop, Main Street in Childs.
Welcome back to the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex. During the timeout, Ricky Jones went right up the gut of the Blue Devil defense, very close to a 4th down.
I think that might have been Sales, Steve.
Oh, Sales?
It could have been Sales on a belly. It was almost a belly option.
So right now, Carbondale in 4th and 1 from the Blue Devil 41, and Larson will go in motion, and that is a quarterback keeper for a first down right up the middle.
Quarterback sneak, first down, Jersey.
That's the good thing about having a big quarterback like that.
Well, Jankowski is 6 foot and 210 pounds, and that time he used his size advantage perfectly to pick up a Carbondale first down and keep the drive going.
But I will say this, he did a great job getting almost 8 yards there, but they were grabbing at that football. You got to
protect that football. Of course, they're not just going to say, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
They're not 6-1 for a reason.
No, absolutely.
Nearing 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. 6-0 Blue Devils. Carbondale on the move. First down and 10 from the Blue Devil 33-yard line. As Jankowski up under center will send Larson in motion. And the handoff will go to Ricky Jones. And Ricky Jones is manhandled. Coming up, Ryan Polish, the 6'4", 290-pound senior. That was a mismatch.
Ricky's not going to win too many of those against Polish. He might outrun it to the edge, but he's not going to run through him.
Ricky don't run to that number.
Polish is a monster.
6'4", 290, and a senior.
I don't know who was filming on for 16 when they had him on in his interview this week, but he towered over the camera.
He's a monster.
Second down and 9 for Carbondale area in Blue Devil territory at the Old Forge 32. Chargers up to the line of scrimmage, trying to get organized. Larson now will come to the near side along with Martin. Martin looking at Coach Larry Gabriel III. He is not happy. Larry's walking out on the field trying to have a word with the official. And
called the timeout first.
Yes, I believe he did. 2:29 left to play in the first. Blue Devils up 6-0 on Adams Cable High School football. If you're planning a construction project, you can rely on Nick's Excavating and Construction of Carbondale. They specialize in residential and commercial excavating, paving and demolition, land clearing, foundations, driveways, sidewalks, and utility lines. Nick's Excavating and Construction will deliver sand, stone, fill, topsoil, and mulch. Nick's appreciates your business and looks forward to serving you with his quality workmanship. For your next project, call Nick's Excavating and Construction of Carbondale.
Back to the gridiron for more Adams Cable High School football.
After the timeout, Carbondale area comes to the line of scrimmage at the Blue Devil 32-yard line, facing second down and 9 yards to go with 2:29 to play, first quarter, trailing 6-0. Jankowski under center. Man will come in motion to the near side. Jankowski out to Martin. His knee touched. He'll lose yardage. That will be some lost yardage back to the 35-yard line. A little bit of a low pass to Martin on the far side of the field, out in the flat. He had to field it, get down on one knee. Play was dead.
Jankowski needs to set his feet. He's really got happy feet here on all his throws.
You can't throw the ball off your back foot either, like Eli Manning this year.
And you see how that's working out for Eli.
Third down and 11 when play resumes.
And you know, Steve, he had to catch that ball because that probably would have been a lateral.
Behind the line of scrimmage, that's a lateral. Live ball. So Josh Scambordi will lead Carbondale to the line of scrimmage at the Old Forge 35, as Brad Sales will line up in the slot on the near side. And it is Jankowski on a pitch, and this will come to the near side, and this is, I believe, Ricky Jones trying to turn the corner, but Old Forge was not fooled. He was all over that play. Well, guys, a little bit of...
Carbondale's kind of trying to pull out some bags of tricks here, but, you know, that's all well and good, but a well-disciplined team like Old Forge is going to be all over that.
Yeah, they've been scouting Carbondale for quite some time. They're well aware of what they can do with the reverse and options, and we'll see if Larry Gabriel has something new drawn up on the chalkboard. As we have
4th down and 9 here, Steve.
As we have 1 minute left, 4th down and 9 from the 32. Carbondale will go for it deep in Blue Devil territory. Jankowski under center, calls out the signals. Jankowski back over to Martin again, and Martin drops the ball, and it's incomplete. Wow.
Official on the far side waved it off, but
he waved it off. Boy, that was very, very close to being a fumble on a live ball, and but play was blown dead. So Old Forge will take over possession of the football on downs with 42 seconds to play here in the first quarter with a 6-0 lead. And the spot of the football will be at the Blue Devil 32-yard line, first down and 10.
But again, Jankowski's got to set his feet. You know, he's just trying to wing it out there. It's not the kind of throw you can make just winging it out there.
Not out there anyway.
Footwork is so important in any position, whether you're an infielder in baseball, basketball player out on the court, quarterback. So the Blue Devils will go to work with the football, 1st and 10, as quarterback Jake Minetti will take the snap, looks across the line of scrimmage, overthrows his intended receiver, Shane Schubach.
And Minetti's got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because the guy's 1 yard off the line of scrimmage and try to make this throw, don't think that's just like, simple pitch and catch. It is a difficult throw to make.
That's 25 yards at least, minimum.
Sure.
Fundamentals.
Fundamental football wins most of the time.
Second down
Fundamental
and 10.
anything wins most often.
Second down and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 32 as the clock is stopped with 38 seconds to play, first quarter. As Minetti trots in from the far sideline with the play from head coach Mike Schubach, now in his 12th season, with a career mark of 95 wins and 41 losses. Minetti with a long count. This time he will give it to Yaskavage. Lots of running room. Yaskavage weaving his way through the Charger defense up to midfield for a first down.
Yaskavage on the carry.
Well, that time there was just a huge gaping hole on that right side of the line for the Blue Devils, and Yaskavage really was able to pick where he wanted to go. And the Blue Devils have the football in midfield.
1st and 10. Blue Devils, midfield.
As they talk it over in the huddle. And the final 20 seconds will tick away here in quarter number 1. Now some
confusion
play.
here.
Yeah, we've got some confusion. Schubach will go to the top of your screen, and this will be a little screen pass near side, and that is picture perfect as they come to the near side to Joey Gutowski.
To Joey Gutowski.
And that is good for a Blue Devil first down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first quarter.
The reason they're running those kind of plays is because Carbondale's defenders are so far off the line of scrimmage.
That's the end of quarter number 1 here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale, with the Blue Devils leading the Chargers 6-0 on Adams Cable High School Football. Insurance is more than just a policy. It's knowing that you are properly covered to protect all the assets you have worked so hard to acquire over the years. For over 50 years, McGovern Insurance has fulfilled the needs and expectations of families and businesses in the greater Carbondale area. McGovern Insurance Agency specializes in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. Call for a competitive quote and superior service at 282-1170. Your protection comes first at McGovern Insurance Agency, 26th Avenue, Carbondale.
The action continues from the 50-yard line with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Channel 7 High School Football.
Glad you're with us here on Adams Cable High School Football for Week 8 and the showdown in the Pioneer City between the Blue Devils and the Chargers. It is Old Forge leading Carbondale 6-0 as we kick off the second quarter of play with the Blue Devils in possession of the football, first down and 10 at the Carbondale 33-yard line. So we'll see what the strategy will be here by Old Forge. They threw the first haymaker of the ball game as Jake Minetti opened things up with a pass. That was pretty unexpected. And now they'll go to work with the football, first down and 10. Minetti looks across the line of scrimmage, and the pass is complete to Schubach, but he breaks the tackle, and Schubach will go along the near sideline and then is bumped out of bounds near the 15-yard line of Carbondale.
That was all Schubach, too. He's a bull.
Well, you have to stop the runner. And that time, Carbondale did not do a good job tackling.
They had guys defending. They just got to bring him down.
They just did not execute the tackle, and now Old Forge is knocking on the door. First down and 10 in the red zone at the 15-yard line of Carbondale area. Minetti strolls to the line of scrimmage. Minetti takes the snap, and it is Yaskavage with the football, and Yaskavage breaking tackles and bulls his way into the end zone for a Blue Devil touchdown. A 15-yard touchdown run by Brandon Yaskavage, and the Blue Devils lead it 12-0. Boy,
he was looking to dish out some punishment, too. He lowered his shoulder. He was looking for somebody to hit.
Old Forge is big, and they are physical. And I believe we will have a timeout called by the Blue Devils with 11:42 to play here in the first half of this ball game. So, guys, you take a look at this Blue Devil team. And every category that you look in, they're first in offense, second in defense, first in rushing, first in passing, scoring, kicking, third in receiving. They are the real deal. And they play with an attitude. They play it seems as though every year, guys, when we see Old Forge, even back in the days of the Big 11, they play every football game like it's a championship game.
Oh, it's an attitude down there. It's a pride issue. It's a small community, but their football program goes back, probably over almost 100 years.
And guys, how about when teachers and faculty and everyone came to the school today, and they came to the back of the high school here, and they looked up across the football field, and instead of seeing CA logo in the white rocks, they saw OF. What a surprise that was for everyone,
Didn't
right?
mean outfield either.
Yeah.
Well, reminds you of the
some shenanigans.
Back in the days with stealing other teams' mascots and hopefully,
that was absolutely
it's
harmless.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's good rivalry.
Fun.
It's clean. It's nobody gets hurt. It's a couple of rocks got moved. It's not like somebody had a rock thrown through the window. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And hopefully that doesn't happen.
Fortunately,
tonight.
I think the football team was able to come out this morning and put everything back in order, and the CA is back up on the hill.
And a lot of times this has nothing to do with football players who did it in the first place.
Right, yeah. And the Blue Devils leading 12-0 will go for the two-point conversion, and there's a flag.
On that timeout, Carbondale was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. I think Coach Gabriel was a little hot, and the officials didn't like what he had to say. Imagine that, they throw a flag.
Yeah.
They'll throw a flag on that, but...
So we'll see what the penalty will be here on the two-point conversion attempt with 11:42 to play in the first half. Here's the call.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the play.
So the Blue Devils will have the football even closer to the goal line.
I'm going to say that this is going to be a shoeback run. Almost a wildcat formation here.
And it will be Shoeback, and Shoeback, you're right, Nick. He's going to dance into the end zone for the two-point conversion. And the Blue Devils have jumped out to a 14-0 lead over the Chargers with 11:42 to play in the first half here on Adams Cable High School Football. We're ready for the big game, but how about your car? As you travel through downtown Carbondale, look for the classic yellow, blue, and red Sunoco sign. Drive in and fill up with the fuel of choice from Main Street Sunoco and get the finest performance from your car. At Main Street Sunoco in Carbondale, prompt, courteous service is always assured. Congratulations to our local athletes and coaches for their hard work and dedication from the staff and management of Main Street Sunoco in Carbondale.
Now back to more action with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Adams Cable High School Football.
Welcome back to Carbondale as the Blue Devils have a 14-0 advantage over the Carbondale area Chargers. Shoeback will tee up the football for the Blue Devils. 2 are deep for the Carbondale area Chargers. Jason Jablanowski back there. Ricky Jones. And here we go with the kickoff by Old Forge. This is a high spinner, and Jablanowski will field it at the 10-yard line. Jablanowski with room and then was belted at the 25-yard line. He took a hard hit, and Carbondale will start this possession from that point, first down and 10.
Chargers ball, the 25.
Well, Mr. Jablanowski, welcome to Old Forge football.
So now this is where Carbondale area, they cannot afford 3 and out. Give Old Forge a short field and much more momentum. They really have to get together a drive right here, protect the football, and try to get some positive yardage and get some points on the scoreboard, get some momentum going on their end of the football.
Yeah, you can't allow Forge to get ahead of steam now because they'll start teeing off on you, and it'll get out of control quickly.
Jankowski buttons up the chin strap and will put a man in motion. That's Larson, and Jankowski will keep the football and goes right up the middle for about a 6-yard gain on the play. Jesse Jankowski in 3 games, he completed 9 passes for 9 of 23 for 171 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he has thrown 1 pick this season. Definitely a different lineup with Jankowski at quarterback. That gives Larry Gabriel III the option of running Ricky Jones at tailback. 2nd and 3 for Carbondale from its own 32. Larson in motion, handoff inside, and Sales with a good run.
They have him spotted past the line. That's a good first down.
Well, maybe they'll want a measurement. I'm not sure where they're going to set the football down.
Judge,
yeah, I think they've got it.
This line judge out here.
Yeah.
Who's about at the 42, then he walks back to the no, I'm sorry. He's about the 38. He walks back to the 35. He did that a few times tonight already.
10:45 on the clock here in the first half, and it's 14-0 Blue Devils.
Little equilibrium problem.
Yeah, a little tilted on the end of the field.
Everybody's on tilt tonight, I think.
Guess so, full moon.
Hey, we've got that full moon
You
going.
must be getting drawn that way.
Yeah. Hey, here's Ricky Jones, I believe, and he goes up the middle.
Now watch, keep walking back. No, he stood there now. He knows we're talking about him.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be an eclipse, Nick, but I believe that was in the afternoon when the full moon was out. So evidently that was in an area where they have darkness. So a lot of things going on here. Big football game. This is probably the biggest game that Carbondale has had since that UFO landed at Russell Park, right?
You ever find that thing?
I don't know. Someone said that's where all the new technology came from.
Could be.
Here is Ricky Jones trying to weave his way up across the 45-yard line. And he will be very close to another Carbondale first down.
You know, a lot of this, so far in this game for Carbondale's offense, the things seem to be working the best in the most basic plays. You know, quarterback sneak, just straight ahead, straight ahead runs. You know, where in the past games we've seen Carbondale a lot of counters and things like that have really had success.
3rd down and 1 for the Chargers from their own 45-yard line. And it's Jankowski with the football, handing off. Ricky Jones cut down, strung out at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle by Jordan Sickle, the inside linebacker of the Blue Devil defense. Wrapped up Ricky Jones right around the ankles to shut him down, and it's 4th down and a couple of yards to go.
I know you want to try and pick up this first down, but percentages will tell you to punt.
Yeah.
Well, Jankowski's in there. Now do we
try
have
to draw them off?
Yeah, you only have the one timeout, or else you take the delay of game.
4th and 2 for the Carbondale area.
If they jump off sides,
from the 44, and it is going to be Jankowski trying to sweep up, and Jankowski may have it.
This guy's out here doing a spot, I don't know.
Jesse Jankowski on the keeper.
It's all in the
Real
spot of the
close.
football. This is going to be close. We may even have a measurement.
Are they going to keep the ball there, or are they going to try and swing it around the field like they usually do?
Nick, you are rolling tonight.
I apologize out there to all the rest of the Stripes who are listening.
Nick, you're rolling tonight.
Well, he has a point, though. They did that in one game.
We spoke to a number of coaches around the league, whether they're have a winning record or not, and they all have the same sentiment. Why do they pick the ball up and move it when it's a spot and they come to measure it?
Here's your measurement. Blue Devils have held on 4th down.
First down, Blue Devils.
Wow, at the 46-yard line.
That's the drawback
Carbondale
for going on
area.
4th down, though. I mean, you're going to give them good field position if you don't pick it up.
Boy, that was a big roll of the dice by Carbondale.
But
You're
you
trailing 14-0, and that's a big that is really a morale booster for Old Forge right there.
Well, it's a short field to work with a lot of time to go, of course. And they have Carbondale has yet to stop them and force them to punt. So,
well,
First and 10.
Here come the Blue Devils. 1st down and 10. From the Carbondale 45-yard line, Jake Minetti at quarterback with an I formation behind him, and it is Yaskavage lowering the shoulder and plowing ahead for 5 yards as he goes off the right side. Boy,
You know,
when you run behind that right side of the line, that right guard, Paul Pappy, 6 foot, 228 pounds. Ryan Polish at right tackle, 6'4", 290. Boy, you've got something there.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they used their size, and on that play, you just saw it. It just looked like a wave going forward of White, 5 yards at a clip.
2nd down and 5 for the Blue Devils, leading 14-0 from the Carbondale 40. Off the play fake, Minetti fires a pass downfield. He's got Seacole. Seacole's got the first down and much more. Seacole breaks tackles and is finally dropped inside the 10-yard line of Carbondale area.
Perfect play called by Forge there. They just snuck the fullback out in the flat. Everybody's keying on his Scavenge, and you just sneak that fullback out there, and he's wide open. Beautiful game.
Spot of the football will be right on the 10-yard line. Boy, Old Forge has really done a number on many opponents. Last week against Trail, they got out to a 22-0 first quarter lead. Here against the Chargers, they lead at 14-0 with 7.5. And there's a flag on the play.
How could you not call that?
There's a flag on the far side of the. Yeah, there's a flag on the far side of the field. Unless if somebody lost a babushka, Nick.
Well, I mean, but that shouldn't be that guy's call over there. They ran it into. That guy was in motion from that side of the field, coming at this official over here, and this guy on the our near side wasn't set yet.
Here's the call. Uh-oh, his mic isn't on.
Offense,
there it is.
5 yards. Repeat first down.
Make it 1st and 15.
Football spotted at the 15-yard line. First down and goal from the 15-yard line for the Old Forge Blue Devils as we near 7 minutes to play in the first half. It's homecoming 2013, and we have a timeout called by the Blue Devils with 7:13 to play, leading 14-0 on Adams Cable High School football.
When your car does this, call us first.
Every job is perfect or it doesn't leave the shop. That's the motto at Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center in Carbondale. In an accident, remember, it is your car and your choice to choose your repair center. Call Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center in Carbondale, well known for integrity, safety, and craftsmanship. For more information concerning your rights and the 10 things you need to know before having your car repaired, go to their website, bestonsautobody.com. Good luck to all area teams from Tony, Mike, Jeff, and the staff at Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center, Gordon Avenue, Carbondale.
Back to the gridiron for more Adams Cable High School football.
Blue Devils took a timeout to talk things over with 7 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the first half, leading 14-0. They have the football 1st and 15 at the Carbondale area 15-yard line. So we'll see what Mike Schuback will come up with right here as Jake Minetti will step to the line of scrimmage with an I formation in the backfield. Minetti on a toss play. Yes, Scavenge on a sweep around the left side. Lavolpe's got him and wraps him up for the tackle.
That was big. That was a big play because if he got around that end, he was walking into the end zone.
And Nick, who finished him off?
Tim Praying Mantis.
All right.
I'm waiting to call that name all night. Nah, but this is a goal-to-goal situation here, guys, too, so they cannot pick up a first down.
Make it 2nd and 12. Old Forge.
2nd down and goal from the 13-yard line of Carbondale area. As Mascaro will be a wideout on the top of your screen. Joey Gutowski on the near side. Minetti takes the snap off the play fake. Minetti with time. Minetti turns it upfield, dives forward.
Kevin Orms.
And Orms wrapped him up at the 8-yard line. So he was scrambling, trying to find an open receiver. Good coverage in the defensive secondary by Carbondale area.
I really like something on that left side, though. Any kind of thing, any kind of throws or anything that they want, any kind of time they need a big play, they've gone to their left.
Which is really difficult because as a right-handed quarterback, Minetti is going against the grain. So It's third down and goal from the Carbondale area 9-yard line for the Old Forge Blue Devils with a 14-0 lead, knocking on the door, looking for more. Here comes the snap.
Shoeback at quarterback.
Shoeback will come to the near side. He's in trouble. Defense pursuing him. Shoeback fires end zone. No, it's incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
Intended for Jake Minetti.
4th and 9. All Forge.
Great defense by Carbondale.
A little bit of luck there, too, because Shoeback threw an absolute rocket, and you can hear it hit his shoulder pads as he slid down to try and make the catch.
Well, that was official was right on that.
I don't know. They're going to attempt a field goal here, I believe.
Well, let's see who will try the field goal. I think
Mozeleski?
Old Forge will
Katowski will be the holder.
Carbondale can get a stop here at this. Hopefully this kid hooks it for Carbondale's sake, and can get a stop here. It's a moral victory.
Christian Mozeleski will.
Stupid.
Flags all over the place.
Flag on the play.
Luckily, it's not a first down, but now that's going to reconsider going for it here.
That will be that's about a 26-yarder. Let's check this.
It'll be half the distance to the goal. They'll put it at the 5.
And make it a 22-yarder.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, half the distance to the goal, repeat 4th down.
Old Forge wants to come away with points right here.
Make it 4th and 5. All Forge.
Now, does this change the strategy? So Mike Shoeback is going to call a timeout. We're not
All
going
Forge.
anywhere.
Sure, he's going to go for it. He'd be foolish not to, because
From
even
the
if he doesn't
5-yard
get
line.
it, Carbondale hasn't really shown you putting together any kind of drives, especially 95-yarders.
So with 5:36 to play in the first half, and Old Forge leading 14-0 with the ball on the Carbondale 4-yard line. Mike Shoeback calls a timeout to talk it over. So Carbondale really needs a big defensive play right here. Well, one thing is for sure, the Blue Devils are the real deal. They are ranked 6th in the state in Class A rankings. Carbondale is a team to watch if you take a look at the rankings. So two good football teams here tonight battling in the Pioneer City.
You know, it's funny because a mere couple inches and Carbondale intercepts that first pass, and this game is different. But hey,
games of this magnitude,
good,
inches often do make a difference.
Good teams find ways.
That's right.
4th down and goal from the Carbondale 4-yard line for the Old Forge Blue Devils. As they talk it over in the huddle. Play has been set by 12th-year head coach Mike Shoeback.
Which way they going, Nick?
And now Jake Minetti.
I'm going to say they're coming right for Shoeback's end over here. They're just going to try and...
Minetti will hand it off to Yaskavage, and Yaskavage will go into the end zone for the touchdown. Was he across the plane of the goal line, though?
Nobody's making a call.
That's the big
No,
key.
he
Was across the plane of the goal line when he lost the ball. You could see where he ended up. And it is 20-0, the Blue Devils, with 5.5 to play here in the first half.
Well, a fundamental mistake by Carbondale, jumping offside. Nothing to lose there, nothing to gain by doing that. You're better off letting him try to kick the ball.
Right.
Christian Mozeleski will attempt the point after out of the hold of Joey Gutowski.
Most of your blocks come from up the middle anyway on a field goal. They rarely ever come from the ends.
That was almost blocked. 21-0 Old Forge here on Adams Cable High School Football.
Old Forge 21.
The White's Crossing Sport Shop, Canaan Street in Carbondale, is the leading authority for the outdoors in northeastern Pennsylvania. They carry a full line of archery accessories, hunting and reloading supplies, live bait, and a variety of fishing tackle. The White's Crossing Sport Shop is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. Call 282-4699 or log on to their website at whitescrossing.com. Finding that unique seasonal outdoor item has never been easier with help from Tom and the staff at the White's Crossing Sport Shop.
The action continues from the 50-yard line with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Channel 7 High School Football.
If you're just tuning in, the Old Forge Blue Devils have a 21-0 lead over the Carbondale area Chargers with 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. Old Forge has taken advantage of every opportunity here tonight thus far against the Chargers. And Shane Schuback will tee up the football for Old Forge. 2 are deep for Carbondale area. Jablanowski along with Ricky Jones. And at the 20-yard line, Ricky Jones will field the football, and he takes the ball out to the 34 or 35-yard line, and Carbondale area will go to work from that point. First down and 10. They have a lot of work to do to get back in this football game.
They just have to sustain a drive. If nothing else, run most of the clock out here if they can, get a few first downs, but obviously look to get back in this game with a score before halftime.
5:25 left. Here's what you do. You try to get together, as you mentioned, a sustained drive. Come out of it with points on the scoreboard, go into the locker room with some momentum, and try to regroup. As it will be, Carbondale area on a toss play. Jones is belted behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 5 to the 30-yard line.
That's Shane Schuback again.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of these perimeter runs. Like I said, most of Carbondale's success so far in this game has come in between the tackles.
And this is where Old Forge is very dangerous. They get out to the big lead, and then they could drop the hammer on you. As Josh Scombordi will lead Carbondale to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down and 15 yards to go. This time, Jankowski will work out of the shotgun. Jankowski rolling under the gun, and Jankowski is tossed to the turf by Ryan Polish, the big 6'4", 290-pound senior. Carbondale area now back to their own 20-yard line, 1st and a mile to go. So right now, Carbondale area in some trouble. 3rd down and 25 yards to go as Jablanowski will be a wide out on the near side. This time, Jankowski comes up under center. Jankowski will hand it off to Ricky Jones, and Ricky Jones lowers his shoulder, picks up 3 as he tries to sweep around the near side of the field.
It's just hard sledging out there. I mean, the defensive line for Old Forge is penetrating now. They're getting in the backfield, and really Carbondale has really no place to go.
Punting unit will come on for Carbondale area. Jason Martin, the senior, back in punt formation. And awaiting the kick, Joey Gutowski and Brandon Vahey. And Vahey, the up man, lets it go. Gutowski will have it, and Gutowski is dropped for no return on the play, just shy of midfield.
Carbondale's very fortunate there. They had a wall set up over on that side.
3:19 left to play in the first half, and the Blue Devils lead at 21-0 over the Carbondale area Chargers. Blue Devils will go to work with the football. 1st down and 10 from their own 49-yard line.
If you can get some positive out of here, Carbondale has to stop them here. They have plenty of time to score another touchdown because they can score quickly, but Carbondale's defense has to come up big here.
Gutowski wide out at the bottom of your screen, and flags on the play.
Delay game already?
Flag on the play.
Wow. Well, no play clock here, so the officials keep track of that on the field.
Coming out of a change of possession, that's rare too.
Substitution, 12 men on the field, on the defense.
Oh, that hurts.
Penalty, 1st down.
Wow. What can go wrong is going wrong.
So it's 1st down and 5 for the Old Forge Blue Devils, now in Carbondale territory at the Charger 46-yard line. Once again, Gutowski comes to the near side as a wideout. And Jake Minetti will give it to Yaskevich, and Yaskevich with a lot of running room at the 35, the 30. Yaskevich breaking tackles down to the 20-yard line, dragging Charger defenders with him down to the 16-yard line.
Wow. Outstanding runner.
Well, last
35 yards on that.
Last week, Yaskevich against Lackawanna Trail had 5 carries for 175 yards. And you could see why he did that. Because once that line goes to work and Yaskevich gets going, he is the real deal. He could really bring it. 3:09 remaining in the first half. First down and 10, Blue Devils from the Chargers, 16-yard line. Minetti fakes the handoff, rolls to the near side, wants to throw, got a man in the end zone, touchdown.
Touchdown, Old Forge.
Wait to see who came up with the touchdown, and he is down for the Old Forge Blue Devils. He made the catch. It's 27-0.
Pay the price. Number 3, I believe.
That's Gutowski. Well, no. Is he still down, Nick? Yes.
Yeah, he is. And Jones was the one who hit him, and he's a little gingerly getting
Injury
off the field,
timeout.
It wasn't even like Jones went to lower the shoulder on him. They just ran into each other, really.
So the Blue Devils leading 27-0 with exactly 3 minutes left in the half. They have a player down in the right corner of the end zone on the near side of the field, and he's being attended to. We believe it is Gutowski, and it is. He's getting up under his own power.
Probably just the wind knocked out him. It was a bang-bang play.
Yeah. Well, you've got 2 tough players, Gutowski and Jones, and as you said, Nick, they ran into each other. So Carbondale fans give him a hand, and that's good to see. And he will come out of the ball game for minimum at least 1 play. It is homecoming 2013. The Queen will be crowned here at halftime at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex. And with the Blue Devils leading 27-0, we'll see if they will elect to just go for the extra point.
Well, I will say this about Minetti. He's throwing bullets out there.
Sure is. He faked that handoff, and man, once he rolled to the near side, he knew exactly where he was going. And that was a laser that he threw to Gutowski for the touchdown. Now, Blue Devils will attempt the 2-point conversion.
Extra point attempt for Old Forge.
As Minetti will come up under center with an I formation in the backfield. And Minetti to Yaskevich, and Yaskevich lowers his shoulder and plows into the end zone for 2, and it's 29-0. Old Forge leading Carbondale with 3 minutes left in the first half on Adams Cable High School Football. Looking for great prices and special offers on top quality parts and accessories? You'll find them at Napa Auto Parts. Visit Tonkin Auto Supply in Carbondale for great savings while supplies last. Only at Napa. Stop in and see Glenn Garth and the staff at Tonkin Auto Supply in Carbondale, your know-how folks.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Now, back to more action with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Adams Cable High School Football.
Welcome back to the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale, where Old Forge has dominated thus far in the first half, leading the Chargers 29-0, and they will tee up the football and kick off to Carbondale area.
Jason Jablanowski, Ricky Jones.
Jason Jablanowski, along with Brad Sales, will be back for the kickoff return.
Brad Sales deep for the Chargers.
And it looks like Schuback will be the man teeing up the football.
Kick it off for the Blue Devils.
Three minutes left in the first half.
Play in the second quarter.
Shane Schuback, 6'1", 225-pound senior, tees up the football for the Blue Devils. And here is your kick. Line drive shot, bouncing around. Jablanowski will pick it up. Coming to the near side of the field, up at the 20, and he is cut down. Great tackle on the special teams by the Old Forge Blue Devils, Armando Salavante. Sophomore at 5'10", 165 pounds.
Well, that name has been synonymous to Old Forge forever. The dad. I would assume his grandfather. I
think he used to be the announcer down there at the stadium.
Oh, yeah. he was a baseball coach. He coached some basketball in there. Chemistry teacher. Great guy, Armando Salavante.
Armando Salavante is like Bill Smith.
That's
there forever.
Yeah. First down and 10, Carbondale from its own 20-yard line. Jankowski handing off to Sales, and he goes around right end for a couple of yards on the play and is caught by the Blue Devil defense. So right now, guys, you're trailing 29-0 going into halftime. How do you regroup in that locker room?
First of all, you don't give the ball back to Forge.
Yeah, don't give it back to him.
I don't care if you take 3 knees.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, but you can't afford to get the mercy rule put on you before, at the first half.
No, second down.
Gosh, no.
Second and 8.
There's not much you say in the locker room at that point.
Yep.
Second and 8 for the Chargers after the 2-yard gain from their own 22-yard line, as Martin will be a wideout on the near side along with Jablanowski and Jankowski. Looking near side, rushes on. Jankowski sees an opening, turns it upfield, and then is tackled at the 25-yard line by the Blue Devil defense.
Good decision there by Jankowski to just
kept the football.
Yeah.
He didn't have anyone open. Good move.
Chargers.
Like we said, don't turn the ball over at this point in the field, at this point in the game.
Third down 5 for Carbondale area.
But I'll tell you what, Anthony, I hope you got your food down there because
you'll never get in
much left now.
Oh, he already has it set up. He said he's going to call down for a takeout. They're going to deliver.
He has
on
the back door down
he
there.
Has nothing to worry about. Knock 3 times on the press box if you want food.
If you're hungry.
Yeah, if you're hungry. Yeah, there's a ball. Oh, intercepted. This pass intercepted, and the Blue Devils are back in business inside the 10-yard line. The ball was tipped by a lineman.
Drill.
And Old Forge is executing fundamentals like textbook precision. Unbelievable here in this first half.
That was the old tip drill. You practice that a million times. Linemen practice it. They probably figure I'll never get one thrown at me like that. They played that beautifully.
First and goal for the Blue Devils on the 8-yard line.
Right now, the Blue Devils have an opportunity right here to punch it in the end zone. 1 minute, 15 seconds left. They're at the Carbondale 8. First down and goal. Carbondale needs to stop right here. They need to shut them down.
Well,
Old Forge isn't just going to take 3 knees here.
Here come the Blue Devils to the line of scrimmage. Minetti will work out of the shotgun. Minetti back to throw, looking, lots of time, scrambling. Minetti lost his footing. Minetti wants to throw, looks end zone. Touchdown to Yaskavage. Minetti had all day, then the protection broke down. He came to the near side of the field. Is there a flag?
Line of scrimmage. I can't tell if that's a shoe or a flag.
Ineligible.
He's beyond the line of scrimmage.
We'll wait for the call from Joe Lally. Well, the officials will talk this over with Old Forge leading 29-0. It took 9 seconds off the clock. Here's the call by Joe. Well, we should have the call. Never did get it.
Well,
yeah, but what did they spot it?
They spotted at the 12.
Where did that drive start? That drive
at the 8. It started at the 8.
At the 8, yeah.
It started at the 8.
Yeah.
So it's only a 4-yard penalty.
Well, that's what it looks like.
It's not half the distance to the goal when it goes
Somebody's
backwards.
Not good in math.
Holy smokes.
Easy, Nick.
It's not a spot foul, is it?
Even so, the minimum penalty in football is 5 yards unless you're going into the end zone.
It's at the 12.
If it started at the 8, you do the math.
Minetti will work out of the shotgun from the 12-yard line. Minetti takes the snap.
That's rubbing
Minetti
salt in the
with
wound.
a lot of time looking end zone. He overthrows his intended receiver, threw it away. Joey Gutowski was the intended receiver. And this is going to bring up second down.
Maybe the guy had a shop teacher accident. Who knows? Wait for a minute. It'll come to you. Steve, we're going to have to pull that Rodney Dangerfield stuff.
Folks, when I send Nick the commercial rotation for the week, I always send him some comedy. I mean, he gets everything.
I'll just send me a thing of the officials game film here.
Yeah, I know.
That's next week.
Yeah.
Wow. Half the distance to the goal against the offense.
Minetti on first down will swing pass out two. Let's check this. That was Gutowski, and he's inside the 5 at the 4-yard line with 46 seconds to play in the first half, leading 29-0. And Old Forge looking for more. Minetti out of the gun, takes the snap, back to throw, fires, end zone, overthrows his intended receiver, Joey Gutowski.
Well, Minetti's certainly got a nice arm, I'll tell
He
you that
sure
much.
does.
He had his guy wide open there.
Just had too much on it. That was a
too
bullet.
much mustard on the hot dog there.
And I mean, he had a lot of time to throw the football.
You know, Old Forge really ran a nice 2-minute offense right
32
here.
seconds remain in the first half of play.
I think they're going to try the field goal now. If Carbondale jumps off sides on the
Old
end,
Forge will attempt the field goal.
that's
Christian Mozaleski will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Gutowski. 21-yard field goal. Carbondale jumped. Carbondale did jump.
Wow.
Can't believe it. Just can't believe it. Now, that will be with
5
the ball
yards.
at the 4-yard line. Yeah, I saw it. I already said hello to him. We're going to have him on at halftime.
Holy cow.
You could tell there's a full moon. Greg Swingle shows up in the press box.
Get
Greg
outta
Swingle.
here. Glenn, you
Please,
better give him the headset.
I thought he was gone about 8 years ago somewhere.
That's a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen.
We thought, yeah, but guess what? Guess who jumped off sides? Old Forge.
Oh, procedure.
Procedure penalty.
Oh, I guess. Or maybe another one of those half the distance. Nick, what do you got up
The
there?
old, I don't even know.
Procedure penalty.
5-yard penalty.
My guess was going to be against Carbondale, but 5 yards it would have given him a touchdown by a half a yard.
29-0 your score. Old Forge leading Carbondale with 32 seconds to play in the half.
Steve, is Greg going to step in the booth there for me?
He's going to step in at
I
halftime.
hope he does. The old days of Steve Young and Greg Swingle. I
He's
remember
going to step
listening
into the booth.
Steve Young and Greg Swingle are almost like Joe Martin and Paul Olis.
Oh, gosh, now we have a timeout call by Carbondale, so we're going to keep it right here. We don't want to miss anything.
Timeout.
Yeah, I took a look out the window, and I said, gee, is that a Greg Swingle sighting? No, it can't be. And I did a double take, and then sure enough, I haven't seen Greg in I don't know how many years. And he's still smiling, too, so we're going to have him on here at halftime because Glenn is going to get writer's cramp trying to tally up these stats. So.
No, they'll go downhill from one side to the other.
And we do have homecoming, so it's going to be an extended halftime here at the Andrew J. Sarah Sports Complex. So what will the call be here, guys?
Well, I think they're going to probably.
They'll go
the
for
tee
it.
is still on the field. Who knows?
As Mike Schuback and the coaching staff will talk things over with their Blue Devil squad with 32 seconds left.
Yeah, actually, Steve, you have to give Old Forge credit.
They're the real deal.
They are absolutely prepared for this game. They are strong. They are quick, and their line of scrimmage is just playing havoc with the defensive line of scrimmage of the Chargers.
From the 9-yard line of Carbondale area, Blue Devils on 4th down will go for it with 32 seconds left in the first half. Minetti back in the pocket to throw, looks, fires. Wow, he really overthrew his intended receiver, Shane Schuback.
Well, Schuback is looking for a flag.
And he probably deserves one, I have to say.
Yeah. I think he got slapped behind the head before the ball was even anywhere near him.
First and 10, Chargers.
So Carbondale takes over possession of the football on downs, first down and 10, trailing 29-0. And the football at the 9-yard line. They're just going to protect the football right here, get into the locker room, and try to regroup. As Tim Mantis had to move quickly to get off the football field. And Scombardi will lead Carbondale to the line of scrimmage on 1st down and 10. Jankowski will step to the line of scrimmage, and he will keep the football and just fall forward. And that will get the clock moving. So Glenn Muskowski will get set to tally up all of the first half stats of today's ball game. It's been all Old Forge thus far, leading 29-0. And that will be the final play of the first half of today's ball game here at the Andrew J. Sarah Sports Complex in Carbondale. Blue Devils dominating the Chargers 29-0 on Adams Cable High School football.
Everyone is looking for ways to save money today. The Total Home Packages from Adams Cable Service are a great way to do just that. Starting at $69.99 per month, you can get cable, high-speed internet, and unlimited phone service. You're probably paying that much just for one service right now. Call Adams Cable Service today and ask about the Total Home Packages. Cable, internet, and phone starting at only $69.99 per month. Adams Cable Service has a package to meet your needs, and it's the smartest way to save money. Call Adams today. Lawrence A. Gabriel Funeral Homes, conveniently located at 74 North Main Street and 2 Hospital Street, Carbondale, offer all types of funeral services. In your time of need, call 282-1219 for the ultimate in professional services. Lawrence A. Gabriel and Lawrence A. Gabriel Jr. take this opportunity to send best wishes to our area athletes and teams. Keep your vehicle running safe and efficiently with complete automotive care by Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Brooklyn Street, Carbondale. You can rely on Jerry's for minor repairs, wheel alignment, Pennsylvania safety inspection and emissions testing, brake service, oil changes, computer diagnostics, and brand name tires for a smooth ride. Stop in and see Jerry. Call 282-TIRE or visit their website, jerrystire@gmail.com. Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Brooklyn Street, Carbondale. Here's great news from Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale that can save you money and make shopping for your prescriptions more convenient. Figlamini now has an $8.95 generic drug plan and free local delivery. Figlamini offers diabetic shoes, lift chairs, and home health supplies. That's what sets Figlamini apart from the chains. Locally owned and trusted since 1929. Stop in and see the difference for yourself at Figlamini Drugstore in Carbondale, where you're not just a number, you're family.
Jason Jablanowski.
Jablanowski and Ricky Jones are awaiting the kick for the Carbondale area Chargers, and Shane Schuback will tee up the football for the Old Forge Blue Devils.
Kickoff for the Blue Devils.
29-0 your score as we start third quarter action here at the Andrew J. Sarah Sports Complex. Glad you're with us here on Adams Cable Channel 7. And the kick. Line drive shot bouncing around, and Jones will pick it up on a short hop at the 20. Jones near side of the field, tackled on the play by the Blue Devils as Steve Mascaro came up to make a beautiful open field tackle. And from the 25-yard line, Carbondale area will be set to work from that point. Carbondale area coming into this ball game was averaging 29 points a ball game. Old Forge averaging 40 points a ball game. Carbondale area third in Division III in offense. And Old Forge first in the division in offense. As Jankowski will hand it off, and it will go to the tailback, Ricky Jones, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. Boy, they are selling a lot of great food. That pizza really looks good coming up through the bleachers.
And there's enough on that plate for all of us, isn't there?
I don't know. Anthony's ready to jump out the window there, I think.
Steve, look at the slice.
Those are... Wow, they're really doing well here tonight at the concession stand. A lot of great food. Hot chocolate and pizza, hot dogs, hamburgers. Second down and about 9 yards to go, and this play is shut down by the Blue Devil defense.
It's a good night for the hot chocolate up here.
Sure is. It cooled off a lot.
You know, they were really calling for some breezy weather, but really the wind hasn't been a factor at all.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's a great night for football.
They're calling for some snow flurries next week.
Well,
yeah, I don't like that.
Well,
We're
my
not doing a game,
wife
so it can
was
snow.
listening to the weather this afternoon. She says somewhere out in the mountains by Pittsburgh there was some snow this afternoon.
Hey, let's let this nice weather pattern continue. I'll take all that I can
right
get.
till April.
They're down in 9 for the Carbondale area Chargers from their own 26-yard line. Larson in motion and a flag. Timeout. 10:35 left to play, third quarter. Blue Devils up 29-0 on Adams Cable High School football.
More than anything else, beautiful carpeting installed by Tom's Floor Shop in Childs will make your house a home. Pay a visit to Tom's Floor Shop and experience the feel of deep, rich luxury, the drama of radiant color, and the timeless beauty, the comfort, and durability of carpeting from Tom's Floor Shop in Childs. Tom's Floor Shop offers a large selection of linoleum, ceramic tile, exotic hardwood floors, and window treatments with attractive patterns and a truly amazing array of colors on display in their showroom. At Tom's Floor Shop, there is no sacrifice of style, quality, or performance. All roads lead to where great floors begin. Tom's Floor Shop, Main Street in Childs.
The action continues from the 50-yard line with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Channel 7 High School Football.
3rd and 9, Chargers.
It's third down and 9 yards to go for Carbondale area from its own 26-yard line, trailing 29-0 with 10:35 to play, third quarter. Larson in motion near side, reverse to Jablanowski around the far side. Jablanowski is caught by inside linebacker Jordan Seacole on the play.
Oh, that is the perfect example of staying home and playing your lane. No place for Jablanowski to go.
I don't think that they weren't prepared for that. Carbondale's run that play a number of times this year when they needed yardage. It's probably one of the first things they taught Old Forge in the scouting report.
And a punting situation for Jason Martin of Carbondale area. He'll boot this away, and the end-over-end kick is caught at midfield, and a lot of green.
Not call that.
A lot of green for Vahey of Old Forge, and he will take it all the way for the touchdown. That is unbelievable, and the Blue Devils lead it 35-0.
No offense to the return, but wow, was that a block in the back.
So Brandon Vahey returns the punt for the Old Forge Blue Devils. That was about, what, 45 yards, guys?
Yeah, roughly 45 yards. Caught it right in stride.
That's how you do it. That's how you return a punt. Come up, return it, on the run, boom.
And his deep man with him got out in front of him, so he was going to pick up any guys who were gunning for him.
And the try for the point after is good.
The extra point is good.
Christian Mozaleski gives Old Forge the lead with the extra point by the score of 36 to nothing with 9:48 left to play in the third quarter here on Adams Cable High School Football.
If you're planning a construction project, you can rely on Nick's Excavating and Construction of Carbondale. They specialize in residential and commercial excavating, paving and demolition, land clearing, foundations, driveways, sidewalks, and utility lines. Nick's Excavating and Construction will deliver sand, stone, fill, topsoil, and mulch. Nick's appreciates your business and looks forward to serving you with his quality workmanship. For your next project, call Nick's Excavating and Construction of Carbondale. Insurance is more than just a policy. It's knowing that you are properly covered to protect all the assets you have worked so hard to acquire over the years. For over 50 years, McGovern Insurance has fulfilled the needs and expectations of families and businesses in the greater Carbondale area. McGovern Insurance Agency specializes in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. Call for a competitive quote and superior service at 282-1170. Your protection comes first at McGovern Insurance Agency, 26th Avenue, Carbondale.
Now, back to more action with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Adams Cable High School Football.
Ricky Jones returned the kickoff by Old Forge and took it out to the 33-yard line, and that's where the Carbondale area Chargers will go to work, trailing 36-0. And the 35-point rule is in effect, so there's going to be a running clock from now on. The clock will stop for timeouts on touchdowns, officials, timeouts, and at the end of the quarter, the clock will run even when there is an incomplete pass or the ball goes out of bounds. As Carbondale area now will go to work as Jesse Jankowski will try to throw a pass to Ricky Jones, and it's incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
As the clock will continue to run, so clock is stopped and started when the ball is set on first downs or when punt goes out of bounds or the end zone. The clock will stop during an extra point try and resumes when the ball is legally touched on a kickoff. So we're going to have a running clock with the score 36-0 and Old Forge leading. So this is going to be a very quick second half of play here in the Pioneer City. This is definitely something that we did not expect, guys. Old Forge to be up by this many points in the third quarter of play.
It's just a total domination of the game.
Jankowski back in the pocket with time, rushes on, he eludes a tackler, he'll turn it upfield, and Jankowski will be tackled just shy of the 38-yard line on the far side of the field in front of the Blue Devil bench.
But think about it. Carbondale, they haven't gotten past midfield all night.
No, they had a little bit of the first time they got the ball, a little bit of movement, but after that they bogged down, and they have been bogged down ever since.
So next week the Chargers will go on the road to Susquehanna, and Susquehanna with that Veer offense playing pretty well. Getting better every week. It may be a little bit of a difficult task. Hopefully the Chargers will come out of this ball game healthy on 3rd down and 7 from the 37-yard line for Carbondale. And the pass goes out to Mantis, and he was drilled on the play. Bobby Rinaldi put a hit on him and dropped him. Rinaldi, 5'10", 170 pounds, and a junior with a textbook tackle. Well, one thing the Blue Devils have done, they have scouted Carbondale well. None of the trick plays have worked here tonight as Martin will drop back in punt formation. 2 are deep for the Old Forge Blue Devils. This punt will be angled out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. We'll check the spot. And the Blue Devils will bring their offensive unit back out onto the football field, 1st down and 10.
30-yard line.
Flag, probably a sportsmanlike call. It looks like on Old Forge, possibly, or yeah, they're marking it off.
Well, in a game like this, for both teams, don't be stupid because you get kicked out of the game here. You're eligible for next week.
Yeah. Well, where are we? He must have walked 35 steps there.
They're making up for that other one before. Holy smokes.
A spot foul from where's it come
out? Spot foul. What did he commit? 30?
He must have committed it on the 22.
I guess so.
Well, right now, Old Forge will have their backs pinned against the wall at their own 15-yard line.
He had it committed at the 30. I didn't see the ref.
I have no idea I don't even know what happened.
15-yard line.
A couple of players got tangled up. I didn't see anything malicious about it.
Troy Benson will bring the Blue Devils to the line of scrimmage on 1st down and 10. From the 15, handoff to the fullback and
fumble.
Lost the ball. Seacole, I believe, the ball carrier. As the officials try to find out who has the football. They're still looking at this, guys.
Carbondale thinks they have it. How many more guys are going to peel off?
Yeah. Well, there should only be 12 out there. If there's any more, we've got a problem. I think the Blue Devils have it. Jake Minetti seems pretty confident as he will head over to head coach Mike Schuback. Yeah, we've got some confusion as players trying to come in and out of the Blue Devil lineup. Now Minetti will quickly get into the huddle. They're going to have to move quick. They've taken a lot of time right here in the huddle on 2nd down and 4 yards to go from the 21-yard line. Minetti will take the snap quickly and hand it off, and he will hand it off to Shane Schuback, and Schuback really chewing up a lot of yardage, stiff-arming players. He may go all the way, and he will take it for a touchdown.
Touchdown, 04.
Wow. 81 yards. Wow. That was amazing. Schuback would not go down.
He's built like a bull. He's like trying to tackle him too.
He just kind of waited for people to come.
He was waiting. He wanted to give somebody a stiff arm. I don't even think he thought he was going to score on that play.
Did he?
Wow. You know, he's a dangerous weapon to have.
He sure is.
The clock is moving now. The clock should be stopped now, shouldn't it? Or no?
Now it's moving. Now the try for the point after by Mozaleski out of the hold of Gutowski. And it's good. 43-0. Blue Devils with 4:44 to play third quarter on Adams Cable High School football.
You're ready for the big game, but how about your car? As you travel through downtown Carbondale, look for the classic yellow, blue, and red Sunoco sign. Drive in and fill up with the fuel of choice from Main Street Sunoco and get the finest performance from your car. At Main Street Sunoco in Carbondale, prompt, courteous service is always assured. Congratulations to our local athletes and coaches for their hard work and dedication from the staff and management of Main Street Sunoco in Carbondale.
When your car does this, call us first.
Every job is perfect or it doesn't leave the shop. That's the motto at Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center in Carbondale. In an accident, remember, it is your car and your choice to choose your repair center. Call Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center in Carbondale, well known for integrity, safety, and craftsmanship. For more information concerning your rights and the 10 things you need to know before having your car repaired, go to their website, bestonsautobody.com. Good luck to all area teams from Tony, Mike, Jeff, and the staff at Beston's Auto Body and Collision Center, Gordon Avenue, Carbondale.
Back to the gridiron for more Adams Cable High School football.
Christian Mozaleski on the kickoff, and on the return for Carbondale area, it was Jablanowski, and he got popped. And Carbondale area will start this drive from their own 33-yard line, 1st down and 10. As we have 4.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter, running clock as the 35-point rule is in effect here. As Carbondale will come to the line of scrimmage. And it is Jesse Jankowski looking to hand off a busted play, and this will go nowhere. That was just one of those plays where it never got going from the start.
Well, it looked like the running back slipped on that muddy area down there, Steve, and he was on his back when Jesse turned around.
Well, when it's not your night, guys, that's what happens. So Jankowski will come to the near sideline to have a chat with head coach Larry Gabriel III. So week 8 of high school football, regular season winding down quickly. And before you know it, the District 2 playoffs will be underway. Of course, the World Series also on the horizon. Glenn Muskowski's Cardinals, he's been watching a lot of baseball.
Going to have their hands full tonight, Steve, with Kershaw.
Will. 2nd and 13, Jankowski rolling out near side. He's going to keep and draws a crowd. And then he is finally caught by Bobby Rinaldi, the outside linebacker of the Blue Devil defense.
Jankowski on a rollout. Short gain on the play.
So Carbondale area came into this game with high expectations, and what they really wanted to do was get off to a quick start, and it never happened against the Blue Devils. And once the Blue Devils got rolling, they put a touchdown on the board early, and they never looked back, and they lead it here 43-0 with 2.5 to play in the third. Still a big crowd here. And you can't get anywhere near that concession stand. And will we have a timeout? Yes, we're going to have a timeout called by the Chargers here on Adams Cable High School Football.
The White's Crossing Sports Shop, Canaan Street in Carbondale, is the leading authority for the outdoors in northeastern Pennsylvania. They carry a full line of archery accessories, hunting and reloading supplies, live bait, and a variety of fishing tackle. The White's Crossing Sports Shop is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. Call 282-4699 or log on to their website at whitescrossing.com. Finding that unique seasonal outdoor item has never been easier with help from Tom and the staff at the White's Crossing Sports Shop.
Now back to more action with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Adams Cable High School Football.
Carbondale area called a timeout to talk things over as they trail 43-0 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the third quarter. And they will face 3rd down and 10 from their own 33-yard line.
It's just a tough way to come into a game that you expect it to be in the game. And
now, guys, Kevin Orms is out of the ball game. And just have to wonder why he's out of the ball game at this point, because he definitely is always on offense at left guard. And right now, out of the ball game.
He was coming off the field. He
wasn't happy.
Something's under his skin. I mean, I think that the coaching staff has made a decision maybe to let him cool off for a little bit.
Yeah, you want to make sure that he's available for next week's ball game at Susquehanna. On 3rd down, off the play fake, Jankowski eludes a tackler in some trouble, turns it upfield, and then is sacked.
No, you got to get rid of that ball. He's not that quick where he can maneuver through that the pressure defense. You got to throw that thing away.
And it's 4th down. The punting unit will come on once again for the Chargers. And a 2 are deep for the Old Forge Blue Devils at the 40-yard line. Martin gets a good snap, and he will angle the punt to the near sideline at the 42-yard line as it rolls out of bounds. Spot should be near the 40, and that's where the Blue Devils will have possession of the football with a $1:38 on the clock. And, of course, Nick mentioned a flag on the play. So let's wait for the word from the field.
Black in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Joe Lally with the call.
Penalty will cost the Blue
Tell me,
Devils
Nick, does Joe Lally look like Charlie Watts, the drummer for the Rolling Stones? Really?
Steve, I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm serious.
Hey, he might.
No, take a look. Call it up on YouTube. Really. There is a striking resemblance.
It could be.
Maybe Joe's played the drums in his past.
know.
Who the heck knows?
In his
There-
spare time.
Nearing 1 minute to play in the third quarter, and the Blue Devils will just keep it on the ground. Shane Schuback on the carry. 43-0. It's been all Old Forge in this ball game. Total domination by the Blue Devils, offensively and defensively. As good as we have seen Carbondale play this season, especially defensively, here tonight they have not had an answer for this Old Forge football team.
And not too many people have.
No. 2nd down and 5 for the Blue Devils from the 35-yard line. Schuback around the left side. Lots of running room. 1st down and more.
There's another block in the back.
So this one will come back.
You know, you wonder how much longer they're going to keep their first-team guys in there.
Probably till the end of this quarter, I would imagine. Yeah.
There's no need to.
No,
This
they
game's
won't have
well
them in
in
much
hand.
longer.
You don't want anything stupid, a little twist of an ankle here and there. You got bigger fish to fry coming up.
Yeah, you got to keep everybody healthy as you're getting ready to go into the playoffs.
And that goes for Carbondale as well. I mean, you know, this is just one game in a 10-game schedule, of course.
And of course, the Blue Devils will be on a collision course with Dunmore once again. Everything falls into place.
And you don't see any hiccups coming for those two teams. They should meet again in the playoffs.
That's why you want everyone healthy. So with 24 seconds left.
Can Old Forge finally get over the hump and beat Dunmore?
Well, they've when you take a look at the games that they have lost to Dunmore, and they've lost some tough ones. Now, last year in the District 2 Class A Championship, they lost to Dunmore 7-6. In Week 4 of this season, they lost to Dunmore 21-16. That's 6 points in like 2 games.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what does that tell you? What do they need to work on?
Turnovers.
Special teams.
Turnovers also.
Special teams have been their, Achilles heel, if you would.
That is the end of the third quarter of play here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex, and the Blue Devils are in cruise control, leading 43-0 on Adams Cable High School football. Looking for great prices and special offers on top quality parts and accessories? You'll find them at Napa Auto Parts. Visit Tonkin Auto Supply in Carbondale for great savings while supplies last. Only at Napa. Stop in and see Glenn, Garth, and the staff at Tonkin Auto Supply in Carbondale, your know-how folks.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Back to the gridiron for more Adams Cable High School football.
Alongside Glenn Muskowski, Nick Homick from Frankie Carl Productions, and our producer, Anthony Cook. I'm Steve Young. Glad you could join us for high school football here on Channel 7. It has been all Old Forge as we get set for fourth quarter action here in the Pioneer City. They lead it 43-0 over the Chargers. And really expect to see the second unit get into the ball game now for both Old Forge and Carbondale area. Let the second teams get in there and play this fourth quarter out. We have the running clock as the 35-point rule is in effect.
Yeah, it looks like the first squad's still in there for both teams.
It's a little shocking to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, at this point of the ball game, I would tend to think that get the first teams out. What are you really playing for?
What are you trying to prove here? What are you really going to work on?
From the 34, the Blue Devils will go to work as Schuback will elude a tackler, and he is caught and tackled on the play at the 31-yard line.
A silly play like that, Minetti gets banged up or something.
Yeah, well, easy twist a knee or anything like that.
Anything can happen.
Bring up a 4th and 5 for the Blue Devils.
Flag on the play also. And with the clock is stopped while the officials sort this out with 11:44 left.
Also, what this does is it gives you you're getting a couple of bad habits here. You're getting another personal foul. They've had about 3 or 4 of them, does Hazel Forge in this second half here. You know.
And right now you'll see a lot of the starters come out of the lineup on defense for Carbondale area.
It gives something for the coaches to get you mad about in a film session, if anything. But you don't want to get in those kind of bad habits. You know, when it's a close game against a team like a Dunmore. You know, you don't want to have mental breakdowns, right, Coach?
Yeah, it's not necessary. I mean, how many teams? You go through a lot of football, basketball. You could pound teams, but and what are you gaining by? Absolutely.
Here's a punt by Shane Schuback, and it will be oh boy.
That's the problem with backing up instead of going up to catch the ball.
Yeah,
Martin falls on it, and Carbondale area will take over possession of the football with just 11:20 left in the fourth quarter, and they trail 43-0. What they would like to do is avert the shutout against the Old Forge Blue Devils. Well, starters are still in there for the Chargers, guys, as Jankowski will trot in from the near sideline. Next week, we take another week off. Hopefully we'll enjoy some nice weather, Glenn. And then the final broadcast of the year will be at the Sharkey Rossetti Sports Complex in Varden.
Yeah,
between Lakeland and Western Wayne.
That is really, we've really gone through this season pretty quickly.
Yeah. Gee, it seems like only yesterday we were talking about the schedule and planning things out, as I believe this is Tim Mantis taking the football up the middle for some positive yardage. And suddenly, here it is. It was opening night, and we were at Western Wayne and Susquehanna, and we will end the season at Western Wayne as they will take on the Lakeland Chiefs in what I feel is going to be a very good football game.
Well, it's going to be Mr. Figueroa against the Mr. Roach.
As they will go head-to-head. Second down play, Carbondale keeps it on the ground, and they'll run off tackle.
Yes, Mr. Figueroa has had quite a nice couple of games.
Hey, I'll tell you something, that guy could run. He could light it up.
2 300-yard rushing games. I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
Not in high school football.
And not just 300, 350 and 360.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Third down and about 3 yards to go for the Chargers. As we near 10 minutes to play, trailing 43-0. Jankowski on a handoff, and looks like Sales will take it up the gut for a first down.
The first time Carbondale, I believe, is crossing
Brad
midfield.
Sales on the carry. First down.
Any updates on any scores, guys?
Well, Anthony is working on that as we speak. There's that fine modern piece of technology trying to fire it back up.
Speaking of getting fired up, we can use a fire up here because it's getting cold.
Yes, it is. You know what? I just realized something, guys.
Oh, boy.
This play goes nowhere for the Chargers.
Brad Sales on the carry. No gain on the play.
Well, we do have an electric baseboard heater here.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, we have the windows open and the door open, so it's not going to do any work.
I mean, it's not exactly the coldest game, of course, we've been at, but it's definitely the coldest we've done so far this year.
We need to hand this back to Anthony. We have a couple of icons on the screen that need to be removed so we can bring you up to date. On second down and 10 from the 47, Carbondale will go to work as Jankowski will go with the play-action fake. Jankowski airs it out. He's got Martin for the touchdown. 47 yards, Jankowski to Martin.
Jankowski to Martin. 60-yard pass.
So Carbondale averts the shutout, and they now trail 43-6. Mid-Valley leads Riverside in the third quarter, 60-21. Susquehanna beat Lackawanna Trail tonight. This is the final, 14-6. Wallenpaupack leading North Pocono 43-19 in the fourth. Montrose leading Holy Cross 20-14 third quarter. Dunmore over Western Wayne 42-16. That is a final. Prep over Valley View in the fourth, 47-13.
Hard to attempt the extra point.
Jared Arendt on for the extra point attempt, and this is no good.
No good.
8:45 left in the fourth. 43-6 Blue Devils.
Carbondale area Chargers.
Everyone is looking for ways to save money today. The Total Home Packages from Adams Cable Service are a great way to do just that. Starting at $69.99 per month, you can get cable, high-speed internet, and unlimited phone service. You're probably paying that much just for one service right now. Call Adams Cable Service today and ask about the Total Home Packages. Cable, internet, and phones starting at only $69.99 per month. Adams Cable Service has a package to meet your needs, and it's the smartest way to save money. Call Adams today.
The action continues from the 50-yard line with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Channel 7 High School Football.
Jason Martin will kick off.
Jankowski to Martin for the touchdown, and the Chargers avert the shutout, trailing 43-6 as the try for the extra point by Jared Arendt was no good. We need to get one more update on the Lakeland game. Lakeland and Honesdale, last update that we had was in the third quarter, and Honesdale was leading Lakeland 28-21, so that's a close football game going on up in the Maple City. Kickoff by Carbondale. Football will be fielded, and on the return for the Old Forge Blue Devils, Brandon Vahey with a lot of running room, and Vahey wouldn't go down, and a big return into Charger territory, and a flag on the play. Inside the 30 at the 29-yard line.
Well, personal foul against Carbondale.
Now that's just frustration right now. Yeah, guys, you know what? It is getting quite cold.
Well, as I look here now, I would say, there's two ways to look at this. At this stage in the game, up 43-6. You're going to keep your team in there. So when you have it, you're going to dish it out. When you don't have it, somebody's going to dish it out to you eventually.
I agree. Yeah, you put another one in here. I mean, it's you don't want to see you run up the score because they earned every point they got here. But nobody's going to feel bad for you.
Fumble on the play on this play, and I think Carbondale will have it.
Carbondale has the ball. Fumble.
Carbondale recovers an Old Forge fumble with 8:07 left in the fourth quarter.
See, that kind of stuff happens. They go down for that fumble. Who knows what's going on down there? You know, there's absolutely no rhyme or reason why Old Forge's first team was on there on offense. Absolutely not.
Now, how does that work, though? Now, like right now, Jankowski is still in the ballgame for Carbondale.
You put your team you want on the field out there.
Yeah.
It's not,
But do you leave your starters in? When do you pull your starters out, trailing 43-6?
Well, I always question that.
As Jankowski will drop back, and Jankowski dumps off a pass out in the flat, and it.
Pass is complete to Brad
I've seen it.
Sails on the receiving end.
I've seen it happen time and time again, more so in basketball than in football, that when you pull your team, if you're up early and a lot in a basketball game and you pull your team out, somewhere that team gets a little bit more momentum and they come back and make a game out of it. Sometimes you can't get back into sync. So I always felt that if you're down, if you quit, I quit.
Right.
2nd and 11 for Carbondale from its own 14-yard line. Jankowski on a handoff. This play goes nowhere.
And you could see a lot of Old Forge's players right now. They're just walking around. Here's some people just throwing a couple, pushing and shoving after the play is over in there. Again, it's always the second guy who gets caught.
And that's usually what happens, definitely.
I hope you're not a guy from Old Forge.
Well, you know, the Blue Devils do have some
11.
second-team
Sure.
players in there. Cooper Califano, number 21 at linebacker. Christian Mitchell at left tackle, number 76.
Steve, to answer your question, kind of what you asked Glenn before, I think you call a timeout if you're Carbondale area. You substitute your guys in, and I think that Old Forge would follow suit, or vice versa.
6:11 left, draw play. And
short gain on the play.
not much there. And with Carbondale trailing 43-6, it's 4th down and 11. Punting unit will come on. And the Chargers will boot it away as Martin will be punting from his own end zone. 2 are deep for the Old Forge Blue Devils as Vahey is still back there. Martin will most likely punt this football out of bounds or away from the return team. Well, maybe not. It's going to bounce, and Vahey is going to let it go. And the Blue Devils will end up with good field position once again at the 44-yard line of Carbondale area with 5:24 left in the football game, and they lead it 43-6. So right now, all the Blue Devils have to do, and the Chargers will play this thing out and, hey, turn the page.
Yep.
And for Carbondale, they'll go back to the drawing board and set their sights on Susquehanna. For the Blue Devils of Old Forge, they will play at Holy Cross in Week 9. Timeout here on Adams Cable High School Football.
Lawrence A. Gabriel Funeral Homes, conveniently located at 74 North Main Street and 2 Hospital Street, Carbondale, offer all types of funeral services. In your time of need, call 282-1219 for the ultimate in professional services. Lawrence A. Gabriel and Lawrence A. Gabriel Jr. take this opportunity to send best wishes to our area athletes and teams.
Now, back to more action with Nick, Glenn, and Steve on Adams Cable High School Football.
Back in Carbondale with 5 minutes and 24 seconds left in the football game. And the Blue Devils leading 43-6. It's like we do have some second-team players in there for the Old Forge Blue Devils. Paul Cariotti at quarterback, and they will just run the football.
Looks like we have both second teams in there now, Steve.
So both second units in the football game for both Old Forge and Carbondale area, and they'll just play out the remaining time on the clock as we have the running clock, and it's going to move quickly, barring any kind of penalties or an injury. On 2nd down and 8, the Blue Devils from the Charger 42-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground and just go right up the middle.
No gain on the play. Bring up a 3rd and 8.
Cooper Califano, sophomore, 5'11" and 162 pounds, running the football for Old Forge. So it's back to reality after tonight's ball game for the Chargers. They'll go to breakdown film of Susquehanna.
Well,
they'll set their sights on the Sabres. And you know, that Veer offense, always tough to stop. And we talked about a very young Susquehanna Sabre football team. We saw them on opening night against the Western Wayne Wildcats. They've been coming along nicely. And Carbondale cannot take Susquehanna lightly going up at Susquehanna.
I don't think Coach Gabriel will allow them to do that.
Yeah, you can't dwell on this game for too long. I mean, it's done. It's over with. You
turn the page.
You turn the page, and you get ready for the next game. Because Susquehanna now needs to win out. Because don't they end with Old Forge?
They may.
So if at best they can, they need to win out.
Paul Cariotti on a keeper around the right end. Picked up a lot of yardage and a first down to sustain the drive for the Old Forge Blue Devils.
First down, Blue Devils.
So the Blue Devils will end their regular season taking on Susquehanna. That will be at Old Forge. So the Sabres will have to make the long road trip.
Susquehanna looked. When where would they have them up in Lakeland?
We had Susquehanna on opening night against Western Wayne.
That's right. And they didn't look bad there, but of course Jason Figueroa looked like $1 million in that
Sure.
game. Yeah.
Cooper Califano taking the toss. And with under 3 minutes left, the Blue Devils will continue to run the football and play out the remaining time on the clock, leading 43-6. So we'll get another week off, guys, and hopefully the weather will be good. And then, when we get back on the air for the final game of the regular season, it will be November.
Wow. And before you know it, the round ball will be starting.
Yeah. Running play. And this is Old Forge just trying to string it out, keep it going. Cooper Califano, the sophomore.
Bring up a third down.
And it's third down for the Blue Devils. So for Old Forge, they will increase their overall record to 7 wins and 1 loss. Carbondale will be handed their first loss of the year. And their record will stand at 7 wins and 1 loss, 3-1 in Division II play. In the Lackawanna Football Conference Division II, the Blue Devils will be 3-0. As this play will be shut down by the Charger
Jeff
defense.
Arthur on the stop for the Chargers.
As we near 1 minute left in the football game here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale. Well, it's been a tough one, folks, for the Carbondale area Chargers, but they've got a good coaching staff.
4th and 12, Blue Devils.
Good head coach. They will they'll break this game down, and then they'll turn the page. And good luck to the Chargers in their remaining games this season, as this will be our final Carbondale broadcast. And never know, the possibility does exist. We might be able to get a playoff game on, but we'll see how that plays out. 43, yeah, 43-6.
The thing is, when you get into those playoffs,
district wants their cut.
They want.
I don't know what they do with it, but they want their cut.
They want.
Somebody needs to investigate that. Not only the district, but PIAA in general.
43-6. The Old Forge Blue Devils. Carbondale will have the football on downs. First down and 10. With under a minute left.
They charge enough for tickets. They ought to investigate where they go with that money.
Well, it's expensive to.
It's like $6-7 a ticket for an adult to get into a district game.
Plus, if you put a broadcast, Steve, you know more about the finances there, but they're not cheap.
With 33 seconds left, the Chargers' second unit will take a knee. And that will just about do it, as the Old Forge Blue Devils come into the Pioneer City and they make a statement big time as they win this football game by the score of 43-6. Congratulations to Mike Schuback and the Blue Devils. They really did play a great football game. They took advantage of every opportunity here tonight against the Chargers. And for Carbondale, they suffer their first loss of the year, but they'll turn the page, and they will be in the district playoffs. It's just a matter of where they will be seated.
Well, Steve, again, we said it. We can't harp on it much more than this. The Old Forge came to play, and they did an outstanding job. And you understand why they score like they do, because they are just quick, strong, and overpowering. So Carbondale has to go back. They have to get ready for Susquehanna, because again, it's not going to be no easy task. They have Susquehanna and Tunkhannock left. They win those 2 games, and that solidifies them probably for second place. And especially with Lakeland, they were losing, and I don't know how many other teams, Nick, are that AA.
Well, 4
bracket.
Qualify. Yeah. Lake Lehman is in there at 6-1 going into
they'll
tonight's
probably
game.
become the number 1
Mid Valley
this weekend. I think Hanover is back in there. Mid Valley's gonna, Mid Valley moved on, so you're gonna have a couple 5-5 teams probably get in there.
Yeah.
There's the 3 and 4 seeds possibly.
Well, you got it's all about where you fall and who you play and how you match up. That's what those district playoffs are all about. Sometimes you could fall into a bracket and you could find your way to the finals very easily. Sometimes you right off the bat you meet a team that that gives you all the trouble you can get. So, you know, again, we wait and see, finish the season out, and
if you're Carbondale, you got to hope to become 9-1. You'll get a home game. You'll guarantee yourself a home playoff game.
Exactly.
And you just hope for the,
then if you get into if you win that game, then you get into the finals. You don't care who you play because you have to beat the best anyway.
That's right. You know, your goal coming into the season, especially in a situation like Carbondale's was, is to make the playoffs. You know, last year it was the Eastern Conference for them. You know, you want to make the district playoffs this year, and you just get into the playoffs and see what happens. Who knows?
And that is going to wrap it up here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex in Carbondale. Thanks to Athletic Director Eric Larson for all of his help this season on our broadcast, and to the Carbondale Area School District, as this is our final Carbondale broadcast here at the Andrew J. Serra Sports Complex. We'll be back on the air in 2 weeks, November 1st, when the Western Wayne Wildcats will host the Lakeland Chiefs. For Glenn Muskowski, Nick Homick, and producer Anthony Cook, I'm Steve Young. Your final score, Old Forge 43 and Carbondale 6. Till next time, so long from Carbondale.
Today's Adams Cable Channel 7 presentation of Lackawanna League Division III football between the Old Forge Blue Devils and the Carbondale Area Chargers was brought to you by Adams Cable Service, Lawrence A. Gabriel Funeral Homes, with locations at 74 North Main Street and 2 Hospital Street, Carbondale. Jerry's Tire and Auto Service, Carbondale. Figlamini Drugstore, Carbondale, locally owned and trusted since 1929. Tom's Floor Shop, Main Street, Childs. By Nick's Excavating and Construction, Carbondale. McGovern Insurance Agency, Carbondale. Main Street, Sunoco, Carbondale. Beston's Body Shop and Collision Center, Carbondale. The White's Crossing Sports Shop. Fire Napa Auto Parts Store, Tonkin Auto Supply, Carbondale. The starting lineups for today's game are brought to you by Roselle Department Store in Carbondale. Join us for our final high school football broadcast of the season, Friday, November 1st at the Sharkey Rossetti Sports Complex in Varden, when the Lakeland Chiefs face the Western Wayne Wildcats, here on Adams Cable Channel 7.